Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world, period. All right? And we'll leave it at that. Now, this is Sports Talk. We talk mostly sports here, and unfortunately, mostly boxing. Those who've been there from the beginning or from close to the beginning knows, well, that wasn't his intention to talk just boxing, right? The guy basically wanted to talk all sports. He likes all sports. We was gonna talk tennis, Formula One, you know, of course, basketball, football, and American sports, but sports all over. That's why worldwide. I'm gonna you're like, well, damn, you're talking boxing all the time. Why worldwide? Well, that was the intentions, right? But in boxing, it's so many things that are just wrong with the sport, and it's so just things that should be illegal. A lot of racism and injustices. So you kind of get focused on that because of the injustices. And anybody that knows me will tell you, when it's unjust, he's gonna be there, and he's gonna be there. Period. I don't like that. I like justice for everyone. So that's what's up. So that's why it's what it is. But today, I'm gonna talk a little bit of politics. So you can call this DDP, Doma Does Politics, right? Today. And we're gonna talk about these Epstein things, the Epstein list, the Epstein files, right? And we want to stay away from that because it's been a couple of years ago when this has happened, and anybody that's not naive knows damn well that the Epstein list has a lot of people on it, right? It's not about what party, Republican, Democrat. It's about right and wrong, and there's a whole lot of people on there. And I've said several occasions, just short, that it's a lot of people we know and love on there. It's a lot of people we don't like on there, but it's a whole bunch of people on there. That's why it's not in the open. If there was a few people like me and you that would have blown up, and Epstein would have had people on there on the island. And here's another thing: I don't think it's just about pedophilia. It's about some other stuff, right? Some other stuff going on, because pedophilia, a lot of people, it's really easy to believe, oh, well, these old men want to do something with young ladies. Well, yeah, that's pretty much in my book, Slapped, that I told you about the other day. Go get it, Doma Slapped, on Amazon. It's about domestic violence. But let me make sure, every cult, every new religion that starts with men, around in their 30s somewhere, ain't getting none, ain't got no game, and they start a religion where they can treat women how they want to, and have how many, they can be as young as they want them, and have as many as they want, right? That's why lines of men are waiting in line to get in those kind of religions, or AKA cults. So that's why that rolls, right? Now, when you talk about the Epstein files, the man got caught and hung himself in jail. And, come on, you had guards there, right? 2 of them went to sleep at the same time. Stuff that's just obvious. And they'll tell you right in public. So my point is, ain't nobody naive. Just go ahead and, I guess, just leave it alone, because that's what they're trying to make you do. Here's the deal. Now we have the Epstein list, and now the Department of Justice is telling you that the Epstein list doesn't exist, right? Now, we've been knowing all this time that the Epstein list exists, but now it doesn't, right? Now, let's make sure you remember this. The Department of Justice, the FBI, the Supreme Court, the Congress, so that means the executive branch, the judicial branch, right? What's the other branch, right? The executive, judicial, and it doesn't hit me right now. But all 3 of our branches of government are basically, filled with people that are either criminals or not qualified, right? Their qualifications to get these positions were just, hey, saying ridiculous things on TV every day, and now you're in a position of power, and you are a criminal yourself. Matt Gaetz and the likes. What are they doing in charge of the police? Department of Justice, who have no prior experience. A president that couldn't get a job by McDonald's but is running the whole damn country. and a felon, right? Things like that we cared about. So here's the point. If Trump is found to be on the Epstein list, it won't make a difference. I know that, just making sure that's clear so we can move on. It won't make a difference, right? Because if it would have made a difference, and here's a perfect example. Feminists, right? Feminists. They care about domestic violence. They care about abuse of women. They care about adultery and things like that. When men go cheat on their wives, don't they? Did it hinder Trump at all? The feminists are silent. Crickets are louder than them. Because like I said before, and I'll continue to say it, racism trumps everything else. So America's closing on white supremacy, and all of these white supremacists are in our Congress that used to talk about democracy, used to talk about the rule of law, right? All of those wonderful things that America was built on, they're turning away, looking away. Now you want help from the Supreme Court, but hey, stop. They're corrupt as well. Nothing but criminals in there, looking away. So that means every time a court makes a decent decision and it goes to the Supreme Court, we're in trouble because there's criminals there too. So everywhere you look, Department of Justice, FBI, right? Presidency, everybody has a criminal background. I think that's a prerequisite to get a position. Now, doesn't that Kamala thing looks a little bit better now? Doesn't it? Right? Doesn't it look a little bit better? Because at the end of the day, Kamala's not doing this, and she didn't do this, and she didn't do this. Well, she would have kept the rule of law. She wouldn't have tried to throw away the Constitution. Right? She damn sure wouldn't have been for white supremacy. Those kind of things. And that's destroyed America. Now, the only thing America got going for it is that a lot of countries are looking away. Have you noticed? Everybody should be boycotting that place. Should be just straight up, okay, until you get it together. You've been talking to us about democracy for years, right? And we're watching you in real time not get your own ish together, right? You can't get your own ish. You over here talking about democracy to other countries and all that crap, and you ain't getting your own ish together. So we ain't want nothing to do with you till you get it together, right? Putting tariffs on places and, just obvious insider trading. Hey, tariffs. Yeah, we put tariffs on. Hey, everybody, all my friends, I'm going to put tariffs. Then I'm going to take them down again. Buy and sell, please. And I'm going to get 15% of that. I mean, just things that I am not really into politics that deep. I'm just not naive. I pay attention, right? To know, you got to always know what people are capable of. And that's why you pay attention a little bit to even politics. I'm a sport guy, but I pay attention enough to know so I will know what's going on around me. You understand? What are these people capable of? And my mom always says, man, how did you know that Trump wasn't going to leave on January the 6th? I was telling her months before. I said, because he said it. And just pay attention to him and pay attention to the people that are following him. They're going to go, and then he's not leaving without a fight. Guaranteed. I've been saying that America's at civil war. For years, we're at civil war. Just the guns ain't started popping off. But it's civil war. It's a civil war. People are saying, you know something? I don't give a damn about anything except supremacy. And they saying it. I don't know what part of would rather be Russian than Democrats was on T-shirts about 6-7 years ago. Or if you ask them, if you could have racism, would you do it again? And the answer is no comment. Right? There's not this categorically no. So when you're voting for that, and you going in there talking about I can't vote for Kamala because I can't vote for a woman, or she didn't, the black man's issues, which she didn't do this. Is they paying attention to black man's issues right now? Latino issues, right? They just pay attention to issues. Now you need tissues. So at the end of the day, either there's going to be a radical change, and the Democrats, for example, Republicans know this, Democrats. Very simple. You play by the rules. They know that. And they don't. People that are racist don't give a damn about rules. Okay? They don't. And that's the difference. So it's not an even playing field. Because I guarantee you, if Trump was anything other than a white guy, we would have had an emergency meeting talking about, hey, we cannot have somebody running the country that's a felon, that has prior criminal activity. We wouldn't have had that. That would have made sure, no, hell no, we can't have that. This is a felon. We're not having somebody, because obviously, just the same reason why a felon can't get a job at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, guys, I'm just saying this. The Epstein files, if Trump's on them, it will not make a difference. If you can look away from all the stuff that he's already done, like I was saying earlier with the feminists, everything that a feminist stands for, he's done against them, and they're not against him because they're racist first. People that are patriots, patriotic people, America, the flag and all that, not the Confederate flag. I know they came on January 6th with Confederate flags. I'm talking about Confederate people, right? I'm talking about just patriots, right? America was national anthem and all those things, right? Military, love our military. Well, if somebody says that you're stupid for being in the military because you're not getting nothing back, or I don't like the ones that get caught, I prefer the ones that don't get caught, or I'm not visiting graves because it's raining and stuff like that, that would bother a patriot normally, but not if he's racist first. I'm looking away for everything, right? And Trump knows it. He'll tell you what he's going to do to you, but he'll follow it up with some racist stuff, and that just goes down like oil, and it blocks your objectivity. It blocks it totally. And so you can't pay attention. Right now, he's going back to his go-to move. What is he saying about the Epstein files right now? Well, Obama wrote them. That's what he's saying about the list. Why would he do that? Well, because he knows the name Obama triggers something in you, and it'll block your objectivity. It's a very simple thing that I see, and I'm not in politics, but I do know racism. I've had this paint job for a long time, so you see stuff, okay? You see stuff, right? And I know to what these people are capable of, right? So at the end of the day, if the Epstein list came out and Trump's name's on top of it in capital letters, it won't change the fact that they want this to run the country, because white supremacy is very, very close. And if you get this close, we ain't throwing it away for nothing, not even pedophilia. Thoma Sports Talk. Worldwide, think about what I'm saying. And I'm about to hear y'all.